Hey guys, Ken here. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little while since I've done a video, but I've been really working hard at optimizing my store and my account on eBay and just trying to figure out different ways to, boost sales and that kind of thing. So that's what I've been spending a lot of time on. Okay, but something happened this morning that was kind of interesting. Never happened to me before, and I thought I'd get on here and share it with you. This morning about, I'd say 10 minutes to 4 in the morning. I usually get up at 3 every morning. I'm an early riser. I get that from my dad. He was a farmer. But I got up at 3 at my normal time, and about 10 minutes to 4, I heard my phone ching, and it was a sale. And I'd had a card on sale for a few days, and this was a $8.46 sale because it was on sale. From normal price was like $9.95. And somebody bought it out of Wisconsin. It was a high school out of Wisconsin. In fact, here's the card right here. Let me take it out of the sleeve. This is the West Allen, Wisconsin High School out of the 1900s. Okay, there's the back. It's unposted, divided back. And it was a good sale, Not a big sale, but a good sale. Well, I went through my normal procedures and I basically printed the label on eBay and then I packaged it up and I put it in my outgoing box ready to ship out this morning because I usually go out sometimes for coffee in the morning and I usually take the order with me and I drop it at the post office. Well, about 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes after that had happened, I looked at the order and it said, I can't think of the exact words, but it said something about cancellation request. And I'm like, I've never seen that before. Cancellation request? Oh my goodness. So I clicked on it and it said something about the buyer had requested a cancellation of this order. And he left a little note there that said it was his mistake. And basically he said he had ordered it by accident because it was the wrong high school. I guess maybe that wasn't the high school that he thought it was. It wasn't the high school that he went to. Maybe that's why he bought it. I'm not sure. But anyway, because it was at 3:45 in the morning, or no, I'm sorry, 3:50, 10 minutes to 4 in the morning. Normally I wouldn't have canceled an order like that because once I print a label and it shows on eBay that it is shipped, then it goes out and gets shipped. And if a cancellation request comes in, I just write the buyer. And normally I would say, well, I'm sorry, I've already shipped this to I've already shipped this to you and I can't retrieve it because I've already dropped it off at the post office. Well, because this request came in so early, the sale came in so early and the request came in like 10 minutes after that, I still had the card in house. I hadn't taken it to the post office. When you print a label on eBay, I don't know if you're aware of this, but as soon as you print that label on your Seller Hub, it says shipped. And it gives a date that it was shipped and even a time. If you click on it, on the information on the tracking, it'll say label created at such and such a time on such and such a date. But, I didn't feel right about, keeping the order. Because, like I said, the order came in at almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and he had canceled it like 10 minutes later. And he admitted it was a mistake. He apologized. He said, sorry, I put you through all that. And I thought, okay, this guy's sincere. He made a mistake. So I went to cancel the order. Well, unfortunately, because I printed the label already, eBay would not allow me to cancel the order because eBay's computer interpreted that as the fact that I'd already shipped it, because in the Seller Hub, it says item has been shipped, because I printed the label. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to cancel this order? It won't let me. And the only thing that was left that I could think of was just to refund the buyer. So I went to the drop-down menu and I refunded his full amount. I don't like giving up sales, but it was a sincere request on the buyer's part. So I felt like he was being honest with me. And, sometimes you got to just do the right thing by your customers. I've often said on other videos, and I've stuck with this phrase a long time. It's really helped me identify with my customers, that if you don't take care of your customers, your competition will. And that's something I've ingrained in my brain. So, I had to refund this card. And like I said, I hated giving up the sale, but, I'm looking at it this way. If you do your customers right, they're going to do right by you. And who knows, this guy might come back in a day, in a week, in a month, who knows, and say, that guy did me right. He refunded my money. If that had been the case, if I had actually gone to the post office and actually honestly did not see his request, and then I saw it afterwards, then would have had to write him back and say, I'm sorry, I can't. eBay will not allow me to refund this, and I've already taken it to the post office. I didn't know you were going to cancel it so soon. And you have to be honest with your customers. Don't ever, take this as a piece of advice and make it a core of your business. Don't ever, ever, ever lie to a customer. Because once you do that, you set a precedent that you are a liar, and they'll call you out on it. They'll leave you negative feedback, and they'll say, seller is a liar. He could have done this. He did this. He pretended to do this or whatever. You got to do right by your customers, and they'll do right by you. So I did that, and I'm hoping that, he did write back. I did contact the customer and explain to him what what had happened. And I refunded his money, and he was very appreciative of it. He said, sorry, I put you through all that. I said, no problem. I said, I just wrote back and I said, glad I could help. And, when you do that, you basically send a message to your potential customer that, hey, this guy did me right. So the next time I want to buy a card, I'm going to go to him or her, and I'm going to buy off of them rather than someone else, because your reputation as a seller has to be uppermost. It has to be above board. And, if you try to lie to your customers or try to say that you've already shipped an order when you haven't, it's going to come back and bite you. Because if you click on any tracking that, that eBay has assigned, whether it be through eBay Standard Envelope or whether it be through USPS Ground Advantage or whatever, you click on that tracking to look at the info, it's going to tell you exactly when that label was created, what date, what time. And they're going to put two and two together and say, he said he already shipped this. And all it says here is that the label was created. Now, I understand that sometimes the post office doesn't process these right away, but the way you know that an item, in this case postcards, has actually been processed and is in the hands of the post office is it will say that in the tracking. It will say USPS in possession of item, or something like that, and it'll give a time that they scan it, if they have to scan it, where in the case of eBay Standard Envelope, they don't scan it, but it will say item has been shipped, and it'll say it's in transit to the next location or something like that. It will give you some evidence that, yes, that the post office actually has it, and they've shipped it. And at that point, you really can't do anything, and all the customer can do is, if they don't want it, they can request a refund when they get it, and you can go from there. But don't ever lie to your customers. Don't ever cheat, or it's always been a core principle with my business that I don't do that. I don't roll that way, because, like I said, it'll come back and bite you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week or next month or whatever, but it will come back and bite you. And one thing you're dealing with people that you don't even know. And you want to make sure that your reputation is stellar with them. And that's how you attract people following you on eBay. And that's how you attract repeat buyers. And I have many repeat buyers, and people have come to me and purchased off me where they could have purchased off somebody else, but they decided to come to me because I did them right. I treated them right. I communicated with them. I gave them tracking numbers. If I made a mistake, I own it. You know what I mean? I just am that way. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying that if you treat your customers right, they'll treat you right. And they'll come back to you for further sales. And I've had multiple people come back to me and buy multiple cards off me because of the way they were treated. Okay, I mean, customer service is something that really has taken a back seat in business in today's society, whether it be online or offline. Some people just don't care. And I just don't run my business that way. I never have. I've been that way ever since I started selling on eBay, and that's been a core principle and in my business, and I've never, faulted from that. And that's why I've had the success that I've had. So I just thought I'd share that with you. Like I said, I'm going to be honest with you. I hated giving up the sale, but it's better that you treat your customer right and go the extra mile for them if you can. I always include the words within reason, and he was very reasonable. He admitted, it was his mistake. And, I just looked for a way that I could help him out and solve this problem. And hopefully he'll see that in sincerity and then come back to me the next time he wants to make a purchase. And who knows? The next time he comes back, he might buy 2 or 3 cards. Who knows? It all depends on how you treat. I live by the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you don't want to have people lie to you, don't lie to them. If you don't want people stealing from you, don't steal, don't cheat. Just run your business above board and people will come back to you. They'll remember that. I can't tell you how many times I've seen negative comments left, whereas somebody felt they got ripped off by a customer didn't communicate with them, never heard from them, they did this, they did that, and the customer and the seller doesn't even respond. The seller looks at them as like, well, you're just another sale on my spreadsheet, who cares? But I don't look at it that way. I want to be treated, I treat my customer, I've always lived by another saying, is that you treat your customer, we treat our customers. And I tell that to some customers. I haven't told it to everybody, but I'm telling it now. Is I treat every customer as if they were my only customer. They're that important to me, because when you run a business, whether it be part-time or full-time, when you interact with your customers, it's all gonna, how that interaction goes is going to determine whether they're going to come back to you. And if not, and if you don't treat them right, they're not going to come back to you. They're just going to go somewhere else. So treat your customers right and they'll treat you right. Okay. But I thought I'd share that with you this morning. I don't know if you've heard or not, eBay has started a new policy. I don't know if it's permanent or they're just testing it or whatever. And I saw this on YouTube a little while ago. eBay has instituted a new policy with buyers now that they can actually cancel an order 30 minutes after they order it. If they change their mind or whatever, they have up to like 30 minutes. They can just cancel that order. And I don't even know if they've got to send a request or not. The only reason why this customer had to send a request, I think, is because I already printed the label and it wouldn't allow that transfer to go through. But if you don't do that, I think they can just cancel the order within 30 minutes after they purchase it, if they realize they made a mistake or they just changed their mind or whatever. But that's just, the ebb and flow of business, just how it goes. So anyway, treat your customers right. They'll treat you right. And I guess I'm going to go. But you guys have a great day. If you got anything out of this video, just smash that like button. It helps the channel. I appreciate it. I'm going to go. But you guys have a great day. And we'll see you on the next video. Take care and bye for now.